Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Atomic Nerd. What's going on, everybody? This is Efren Guzman, along with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Young. Michael, say what's up.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's NERDSoul, NERDSoul. You know what it is. Let's do this.
Yes, everybody get ready to be intellectually stimulated because there's a lot of topics going on in the world today. And first, before we even start, Mike, I know you went to the LA Comic-Con. Tell me, how was that, man?
Well, I went in today. It started on Friday. I went in today, and I saw the Black in Time. Black to the Future panel, and that's a whole story in itself. And then I went around Artist Alley, met some really cool people. Big shout out to Omar Moore, Dijon Williams, Darrell Odom, a lot of dope artists, TOT Cup, a bunch of like cool artists that like putting it down, dropping some dope stuff. I got a chance to get Coy Turnbull on video, Brandon Easton talking about War for Cybertron coming out next year that he wrote on. So just like some cool folks that I got a chance to chill out with for a couple seconds. And then a panel that was very interesting in its titling, and I'll just leave it at that.
I'm not from the West Coast, so like I know you got San Diego and LA. What's the difference? Is more intimate LA Comic Con than San Diego?
That's a good question. Yeah, LA is definitely a smaller con, but I think it's a good thing. San Diego is just, it's a thing. Like, San Diego is a monster unto itself. It's like a week-long engagement of just tons of stuff. LA Comic-Con is a lot smaller. Of course, it's a 3-day event as opposed to a 5-day event. And it's a lot, at least for what I see, geared more towards, there's a lot of toys out there. There's a lot of like creators out there as well, but not kind of like the news drops you get from like San Diego Comic-Con. So more along the line of like discussion stuff. So they'll have like, actors and actresses, but it's more along the line of like just discussing like the ins and outs of the shows that they're on and stuff like that, instead of like these huge news drops and stuff like that. Even though, you know what? It wouldn't be a bad idea for someone to use LA Comic-Con or one of these off cons to like drop their dope news on, because like technically they wouldn't have any competition. Like there wouldn't be no one around them. They can kind of do what they wanted.
Yeah, unless like they don't want to drop news like that because it's not a big venue, or like it's not as big as San Diego. So I think that's why like today where we had, I don't live in Chicago, but I'm close. But Chicago, they had the Ace Comic Con, and they had a lot of panels like with Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal, Tessa Thompson, Brie Larson, talking about the women in the Marvel. So like I don't know if Ace is like huge like the San Diego or New York Comic Con, but it was pretty big though, from what I heard and what I've seen on pictures online. So it was pretty big. But I think it's right. I think it's winding down to the end of the Comic Cons though, right? Because after like October, November, I think it's pretty much done, right? I think
it kind of chills until about February or so.
Oh wow, okay.
I know there's a couple of like small cons. But as far as like the huge grabs, I know there's a couple of cons next like January, February that'll be coming back. I know there's a big one in San Fran. I can't remember the name of it, but I believe John Jennings is involved with that one. And then there's one in San Diego, like Blacks in Comics, I believe. That's in February maybe. But so it's, it kind of gets back up around February, but during the holiday season, it's kind of like October. You get the kind of like the horror film festivals, and then November is just like kind of like everybody's getting their Oscar movie on. December, they're still doing their holiday thing, and then kind of like slowly building back around February.
Yeah, and, speaking of October, this is our episode 2 of the Atomic Nerd, and there's a lot of things going on with the horror holiday season because it's the Halloween month. So springing on to you, Mike. What are your 3 go-to Halloween movies for the month of October?
All right. Nah, I want you to go first because I want to make sure. I want to see where your head's at. Where?
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, number 1 for me, I got to go with number 1 first. It's always going to be Halloween to me, no matter what. Like, I've seen the Hellraisers, I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Streets, I've seen the Howlings, the Waxworks, Night of the Living Dead. But I don't know, something about Halloween to me is just so simplistic. It's simple killing, and it's something that I could. I could repeat watch. I could repeat watch A Nightmare on Elm Street. I could repeat watch. Not really Friday the 13th. Not really. It depends. Like I could rewatch not Jason Takes Manhattan because that's not even Manhattan. Don't get me started on that. But I think when he's fighting the telekinesis, when he's fighting the telekinesis girl.
Yo, he just kicked the dude's radio off. I love how he just kicked the radio.
or the dude boxing him on top of the rooftop. I'm like, oh, geez,
Yo, he literally knocked his head off. Like,
brought this hitting the hockey mask back and forth. No, but whatchamacallit? I digress. Halloween basically is number 1 for me. That's something I could rewatch. Number 2, it holds a special place in my heart because I just love the action of it. I think it's the action horror and the comic book feel to it, even though it's a horror movie. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. Love that movie.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Yes, I love like it's like you got a black man, you got a guy who's deaf, you got a guy in a wheelchair. It's like everybody who supposedly has either they have a handicap or they're a different nationality. They coming together to fight a freaking demon. You know what I'm saying? Even though they kind of spoiler alert, they lose in the end. But it was it was a cool concept.
Hold up, all but one, right? Does one survive?
No. Matter of fact, it was 3 survivors. It was Kincaid. Joey, who was the guy who didn't speak, he was the mute guy, and Kristen.
Yeah,
Kristen was the blonde one that had the power.
Shouts out to that movie because they're doing a screening, I think at the New Art Theater out here sometime. I hope I don't miss it, but I want to say they're doing a screening for that like on the 31st or something like that, like at the New Art Theater or something like that, because that's another one of those movies that I never saw in the big screen just because I was too young.
Oh wow, okay. You see, that proves my age. I saw that in the big screen. Wow. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and the third one, it's like a horror comedy, but an American Werewolf in London. That's another go-to movie. It's like something I could repeat watch, and I get tired of it because you got your element of comedy, you got your drama, you got your horror, all in one film. In that movie, don't get me wrong. I love The Howling. I love Bad Moon. I love all these other horror movies. But something about An American Werewolf in London, where it was horrific looking, and you get a transformation of a werewolf in the freaking daylight. Well, not in the daylight, but like in the fluorescent light in the house. Where I think that was the first time you see a transformation in really bright light instead of like a dark, dim blue light, and just the aspect of the John Landis directing it, so you have that comedy element to it, and he also directed Thriller for Michael Jackson. But you know what I'm saying? You have that comedy, you have the drama, you have the horror, you have the blood and guts, and even though I don't count the American Werewolf in Paris sequel, it has nothing to do with it. Horrible, but those are my 3 go-to horror flicks. How about you?
Horror flicks that are my go-to
for Halloween, October month.
Okay, I have. There's so many, and I'm trying to weed them out now. Okay, I'm gonna settle on this. This is not my top 3, guys. Whoever's listening, this is not my top 3.
You're making excuses because you want people to rag on you, but go ahead.
Because I know there's gonna be people that are like, these movies are bad or they're cheesy or whatever. There's better shot movies, but these are go-tos. All right, the 1988 The Blob.
Oh wow!
That movie is just. It's awesome. All right, it has everything you need, like the small town, the yokels. You have like this weird ooze. You have like some good body horror in it, and it's just like this thing that kind of like slowly takes over this town, and you can't stop it. Then you got dude from Entourage that's
Kevin
on there
Dillon.
like as the leading man.
Yeah, Kevin Dillon. Yep.
as like the leading man, and he's so corny in it, but it's like he's so good at it. I love that movie. Yo, the 1988 Blob is awesome. It's super awesome. If you haven't seen it, treat yourself, right? Because you need to see that. It's just, they're in the theater and it's like slowly oozing. It's like eating people, and it's awesome. The movie is awesome. Like, I can't even say anymore. The movie is awesome, and I've always liked it since I was little. Then there's, I know people going, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Okay.
That's scary.
This movie is classic. All right. This movie is classic, and it's scary. All right. There's like straight up, this joint scared me when I was little. Like Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's a classic movie. Like, okay, I know the title says it. All right. They're clowns. All right. They're from outer space, and they kill people. It is similar to the Blob. It's kind of like that, like small town movie. It's a small town, little, the meteor hits, and it's like a little clown circus place, and, people just start dying. But it's the interesting, intriguing ways that they kill people. Like, they use, like shadow puppets to kill people. This dude's, on a little motorcycle. Like, there's a dude on a motorcycle and a dude, on a little tricycle or something, and he still catches up to him. You have a popcorn that, tries to eat a girl when she's butt naked. Like, it's tons of stuff, all right? It is just... Killer Klowns from Outer Space, it's just, it is the jam. Like, straight up. Like, don't sleep, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, that's what's up.
Okay. And your third one?
Then my third one, I'll say that, see, because I usually have a list of movies that I watch. Mm-hmm. And I would say Ghostbusters, but I always use that, Ghostbusters 1 and 2 sort of as one movie. So I'll throw that out. Okay. And I'll bring in a good movie called Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, wow.
So Drag Me to Hell, Sam Raimi, and it's just, it's good old, this lady, she's working at the bank, mind her business. She's having a bad day. There's this lady who I guess she's maybe a mystic or a witch or whatever, like a gypsy, something like that. And she disrespects her, right? So old girl's she put a hex on her, and she give her this little button, and everything, after that, she has a countdown until, she gets dragged to hell. Look, one thing, all right, here's the thing about horror movies. All right, they're going to tell you what the movie is. All right, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. Okay, they're on Elm Street. It's a nightmare, and they're gonna be warriors inside of a dream. That's a good way of looking at it. It's not like a mystery. All right, so Drag Me to Hell, and everything that happens to her, it's unfortunate because what she does to the old lady, it is kind of put on her from her boss to do, but she put a little stank on it, and she gets cursed, and at the end she tries to give the curse to someone else, which is messed up, and she tries to give it back to the old lady. Then I think she tries to give it to someone else, which is messed up, but then it backfires because of course she didn't give it. She finds out she didn't. She gets dragged to hell. And when she does get dragged to hell, it is amazing. The effects on it, but it's a horror comedy. You get to see silly stuff, crazy stuff, but then you get some actual jump scare, but real jump scare moments. Not like a jump scare and it's oh, it was a cat. It's no, it's a jump scare, something happens and then keeps happening. But yeah, that's what I say. Those are three go-tos.
That's awesome because say it's having three, it's especially Drag Me to Hell, it's kind of recent, right? Because that's 2000. I don't remember. Was it 2013?
I don't know. 4.
Oh, 4. Wow.
I want to say it was maybe earlier, 2004 or something like that.
Wow. But I think that's.
I'm trying to think of where I was when I saw it. I know it was after. I think it was after Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Or Spider-Man 2.
Okay, but I'm saying, compared to our 3 list, that's the most the newest.
Yeah,
film.
that's probably the newest. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's not a bad. That's not a bad pick, man. That's not bad at all.
But yeah, that's usually in my list. Like I'll usually do, in my larger list for like horror movies, like Ghostbusters 1 and 2, The Blob, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Poltergeist, Drag Me to Hell. Trying to think after that. I know I have like one or two after that, but yeah, that's usually like the list. Like, it's some creepy, some funny, some cheesy, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
No, that's not a bad choice, man. That's not a bad choice. Also, since it's the month of October, you have the Fear Fest, you have the what is it, Six Flags, the the Halloween thing, the Halloween themed events that they have going on.
You got that. You got Universal Studios doing their thing.
Yeah.
Oh, shouts out to Denise Gilbert for Shriek Fest. I got a chance to go to that. I saw some great short films that were some very good and interesting short films about horror. I mean, that were horror short films, and they were just like knocking out of the box, like Baby Bird. Possessions was a good one. Chickens was a good one. Like there were some great shorts out there this year, so yeah, big shouts to that.
Yeah, so far in 2019, I think the only horror movie I saw this year was the sequel to It. Was there any other horror movies that came out this year? I'm trying to think. Not in theaters, right? Not in like theater besides It. I think that was that's the only one I remember seeing that's a horror movie this year in 2019. But
we had Us this year, right? Or was Us last year?
Oh, Us. No, was it this year? Yeah, I think it was this year.
I keep forgetting. Like whenever a movie comes out, like in March or something, I'll be forgetting.
Yeah, I know.
That I'm trying to remember when that movie came out, but I think we had Us this year.
Okay.
But I haven't seen any horror movies this year, unfortunately. Besides, unless Us was last year, it might have been last year. I can't remember. But I've seen Us, which was maybe this year. But it's been a long year, y'all. It's been long.
I know. And speaking of,
and then
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Then, as far as what's coming up, the only thing I'm thinking about right now is like Mandalorian, Star Wars, Disney Plus type stuff, or some Netflix type stuff. So it's like now I'm not even in like horror mode right now.
Gotcha. I know. I'm saying I'm just in horror mode because it's October. So, like, this is like the month where people who love Halloween so much, they celebrate it the 1st of October all the way on because they love Halloween. They want to hold on to Halloween. Yep. Also, Shudder is out there. They have a new Creep Show anthology series now, I believe, on Shudder. I don't have Shudder, but there's a lot of things. It's also done by Greg Nicotero, who's also doing The Walking Dead as well. So that's a shout out to Shudder, who's putting out Creep Show. If anybody's seen it, I haven't seen it yet, but definitely want to go to a torrent site or see if anybody could let me watch the first episode. But I heard it was really good.
Shouts out to American Horror Story, which
yeah, that's right.
I'm not watching it this year, but I did see the first episode. It's cool for nostalgia for people that haven't seen those movies yet, but it's definitely, it's based on 1984, so it's, it's kind of got like that, Jason slasher vibe, that, kind of thing. And I mean, I watched the first episode, and while I was watching, I was like, I feel like I've seen all of this before. But I mean, it's still well done. The actors and actresses were killing it. It's just that, it's like we've been down this road before. Yeah. But for people that never got into 80s horror, it's dope. I'm pretty sure it'd be dope for them.
Yeah.
Outstanding horror film that is random or series, The Phantasm. The Phantasm ain't no joke.
The Phantasm? Oh, yeah, with the tall man, right? With the ball, with the blades?
Yeah, with the silver ball, be busting you in your head.
Yes, that's right.
That joint ain't no joke. And then, and a little movie called 976 Evil.
Yes, Robert Englund. Yep, Robert Englund. And then it was with that guy, Evil Ed from Fright Night. I forgot the actor's name, but... Stephen Jeffries.
976 Evil had me scared for really real.
You see, that's the thing. I think the 80s, they had a lot more horror movies than they do now. But the thing is, like, everybody was just throwing horror movies, and I don't know, it wasn't really going straight to DVD. A lot of, like, the movies that were kind of low budget, especially like 976 Evil, were in mainstream theaters. So it's just different now.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like they had a chance back then.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you get a lot of kind of like the sort of like I guess you could say Blumhouse stuff, a lot of that. But you don't. I guess it just seems like more people were allowed to do weird horror things back then.
Yeah. And not even horror, I think.
But hopefully with stuff like Shudder, hopefully with stuff like Netflix and prevailing Hulu and all that, people will be, get an opportunity to do more. Because I did peep Little Monsters, and I had a good time. I laughed a lot in Little Monsters.
Little Monsters. Is that the one with Fred Savage? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, no, sorry. No. That is classic. But, oh man, that movie's good. But anyway, Little Monsters is a Hulu film with Lupita Nyong'o and Josh Gad. And I can't remember the third guy's name. But she's a kindergarten teacher. She's taking them out on a little field trip. And then zombies pop up and like everything hits the fan.
Ooh,
and
that sounds good.
I honestly laughed a lot. The movie is definitely for adults. It is inappropriate. Like all the jokes are like definitely adult jokes, but it's funny. I did laugh a lot watching.
Is that on like streaming or is it something you saw in the theater?
Streaming. It was on Hulu.
Oh, Hulu. Oh, okay, Hulu. Okay. Oh man, see.
So like that's one good thing is like with all these streaming services, Amazon Prime, whatever. Hopefully there'll be a larger opportunity to get kind of back to those weirder films. Like 976 Evil probably would not get a theatrical release these days, but you could put 976 Evil, I guess, or 977 Evil. I don't know, 978.
No, I think they did have a sequel. They had 976 Evil 2. I never saw that one, but I know they had a sequel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not the same actors, so you know how that goes. Like you have the Howling, then you have the Howling 2.
That don't count. They ain't real.
Exactly. But then I think you had Midsommar, you had Hereditary. There's a lot of like.
I think Hereditary was last year, but I think Midsommar was this year.
Yes, and people have been talking about. I haven't seen it yet, but people have been talking about it. So that's like classified as a horror movie, right, or a thriller, more of a horror, right?
Yeah, big shouts to Double Toasted, Corey over there. Corey and Morton, they liked it, so I'm pretty sure the movie's at least decent if they both liked it, at least for me. But yeah, I haven't peeped it out, but I know a lot of people were talking about how creepy it was. And Hereditary kind of similar, where they were talking about how creepy that was.
Yeah.
So it's like we got a couple that are dropping. But I would love to see, since we have the opportunity, I'd love to see, Shudder step up, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, get some of those like creepy, really scary vibes. I know is it Sci-Fi? I'm trying to remember. Someone has another anthology show like Channel Zero or something like that. And it's not AMC, but someone has another anthology show similar to, to American Horror Story. And I want to say it's on Sci-Fi Channel, but I'm probably wrong. But I think it's called like Channel Zero or something like that, or Zero Channel, something like that.
And it's just strictly horror, yeah.
Or like maybe it's Channel 13, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like in October, but do you remember they used to have a Paranormal Activity movie every October, and then they had the Saw movies. Like, do you feel like we're missing out on like the horror genre? Because I think next year we're gonna have Halloween Kills, which is going to be the sequel to the Halloween of 2018, and then I think they're shooting a back-to-back Halloween movie. So I think next year in October, probably by the time we're talking next year, we're gonna have a lot of more horror movies out there.
As far as Saw and Paranormal, I think it's time for them to, lay them to rest. They've had their day in the sun. It's time to put them to bed. Halloween, I didn't see the 2018 one. I need to pick that up and check it out. But you know what? I'm not mad at, because see, Halloween's been on ice for a minute. So I'm not mad at Halloween coming back and doing a little something. You know, they've been on ice for a second. Like with Saw, put Saw on ice for like 5-10 years. Then, you know, don't like, because they got like about, I don't know, 10 movies or something. And for me, I could only stomach 2 of them. Like the first one was honestly kind of like a detective story. The second one was like, all right, y'all kind of wild.
Yeah.
And after like the first 15 minutes of the third one, I was like, I'm out. And same with like that Hostel stuff and like the torture porn stuff. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I can't really deal with that like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know if you read, I think Chris Rock is involved in the new Saw, which is supposed to come out next year, I believe. He's involved in that. But I don't know if it's going to be a sequel or a reboot, but yeah, read up on that. Chris Rock is involved with the next Saw franchise. So people's really like, Chris Rock? But, yep. So that's news right there.
Yeah, hey, you never know. I mean, look.
Yeah, and then I think, I don't know. I don't know. I was a fan of Paranormal Activity. I think the first one was freaky as fuck, man. Like it just creeped the shit out of me. The last scene, like the last scene alone is worth it. Part 2 was great too, and then they had a Japanese spin-off one which sort of is connected to the American version, but then they have the American version of Part 2, then they had Part 3, and then they had like another spin-off called The Bark Ones, which is a spin-off of Paranormal Activity, but it connects to the first movie. But I don't know, I think Possessions and October goes together like Rockefeller, and it goes really good.
Word up. This what's up. Yeah, I have to, you know what? I had to agree. I think October is a good opportunity for, you know, even though I do think they should go to rest, you know, maybe a good opportunity to spin off some stuff. And what I mean by that is we have like, you know, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was a cool show. Mm-hmm. And then they have Better Call Saul. That's a good show, but it's in the same, you know, it's in the same world or whatever. Yeah. And now they got El Camino that just dropped. Yeah. So it's like you got stuff that's like related, similar to what Conjuring is doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got stuff that's related, but it's not exactly the same. Yeah. And on the sneak tip, you know, Conjuring done did what Marvel was doing, but like for horror, because Conjuring got like what, like 7 movies now? Yeah. All right. You have Conjuring. You got 3 Conjurings.
Yeah, the Annabelles. Yeah, The Nun.
And you got The Nun. And so that's 6 movies.
La Llorona, I think, is partly connected to that too.
Oh, that's part of it too?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. So they got 7 movies.
Yeah.
So
it's their own cinematic universe.
So look, like, but see, that's a cool way to be like, all right, you know, so people don't get super tired, because like Saw is like the same thing over and over and over. But if you kind of flip it like, oh, okay, well, this is the Nun, you know, they out there, you know, getting their nun on. And then you got, you know, like this is, you know, this is regular Conjuring. And then this is, I don't know, whatever else. It's Annabelle, and it's like, you know, even though the most recent Annabelle, which I think was late last year, or was it early this year? I think it was late last year.
Yeah.
But, the most recent, I'm like, dude. Oh no, Annabelle was this year. I remember because I know where I was when I saw the ad for it. Yes, Annabelle was this year. Like, I peep it. The funniest thing about this movie, even though I haven't seen it, their poster for Annabelle, if you look at the poster for the most recent Annabelle, it's the girl asleep and Annabelle's like kind of like creeping up over her. And like, I don't know why. I have no idea why it always comes to me. I'm like, every time I see that, I'm like, take your butt to bed. I feel like she like raising up, take your butt to bed. Shut up. Like, but I don't know why that always comes to my mind. But yeah, so, you know, Conjuring, they kind of got their little Marvel horror kind of thing going on. You know what I mean? They up to like 7 at least that we can count right now. There might be another one out there somewhere. But I think, 3 Conjurings, 2 Annabelles, a nun in the La Llorona or whatever.
La Llorona. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. You know, look, I can't pronounce it, but y'all know what I mean. Yeah. It was a lady. I remember the ad. It was a lady, and I don't know, she was scared because like someone was taking kids or something, and That's all I remember. I just saw the commercial. So
yeah, and also
cheese was getting stolen.
Yeah, there's a lot of, people like in the month of October, you could catch AMC Fear Fest. I think it starts next week, actually. I think it starts. And then there's the Halloween movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th marathons, But it's so crazy because if people don't have like the Netflix and like the Shutters and the Hulus, I guess you just wait for AMC to do it because, like, think about it. Like, even when back in our days, like, we didn't have Netflix and all that stuff is like recent. Like, you had to wait till like the shows come up. And I remember they had the 100 greatest horror movie moments they should show on AMC a lot, which was really good, and the 50 greatest scares, and then all these like little horror documentary stuffs that they had.
Yeah, like Lord, like
yeah, they they don't do that no more, really, because everything is now. You could catch it on YouTube, or you could catch it on on all those like streaming services. But I'm saying even like if you search, like if you go to Netflix or Hulu or Amazon and you search horror, there's a lot. Even like the 80s, there's a lot of freaking horror out there you can check out in the month of October because there's a lot of good stuff out there for you guys to check out.
True that. And like kind of like you were saying with that, we had the original Netflix, so we had to wait until USA. TNT, TBS, we had to wait until they showed their horror movies in October.
Yeah.
We had to wait.
Yep.
Now you can kind of like go on Netflix and just search horror, and there's tons of stuff. Now, there's some trash up in there. Oh, there's some trash. But there's also some cheesy stuff, like, especially if like you and your friends get together, like, you and your friends get together and just want to watch something stupid, get a whole bunch of popcorn and just sit back and just like be like, this is dumb. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there's tons of opportunity to like get your fear on. Big shout out! There's also Screamfest.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Screamfest. That's what it is, right? In Great America, Screamfest. Because
I covered Shriekfest last weekend, and my boy Solar Gray is covering Screamfest this weekend. So there's tons of. And I'm pretty sure there's tons of other like, film festivals or horror festivals going on. Check your local listings, people.
Yes. On that note, folks, that was another exciting episode of the Atomic Nerd of a Halloween edition, October edition. Check out. I'm sure people out there got the Netflix, they got the Shutters, and they got the Amazons. Just scroll on horror, watch all the horror movies. If you don't got horror, go to AMC. The month of October, you're gonna have all these horror movies out there. Check them out, folks, because as Count Dracula would say, he loves to suck the blood and he likes to watch horror. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Efren Guzman. Yeah, this is your other host, the man with the soul, Michael Young. Any last words, Michael Young?
Yo, what up? Well, I got one more question for you before we get out.
Yes, sir. Speak away.
What's one movie that scared you when you were little and still scares you today?
Exorcist. The Exorcist. Still does.
That movie is just so long.
Yeah, but something about possession and a girl sticking a crucifix up her vagina. Yeah, I think that...
Oh, yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, that, to me, I think nothing tops that to this day. Not even The Shining, not even The Howling.
To this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Your mama sucks cocks in hell or some shit.
It's like, whoa.
Like, yo, that is deep.
It's like, whoa, little lady. Like, watch your toes.
Oh, man.
All right, for me, it's Ghostbusters 2. And I know this is going to sound weird, but here's why.
Bobby Brown?
If you come to my house...
Yeah.
If you come to my house... You'll realize I don't have any like posters and, paintings or nothing up with people looking at you. All right. I still, to this day, ever since Ghostbusters 2, I don't want nothing looking at me. All right. I don't need you looking at me when I'm trying to sleep.
Vigo, right? You don't want Vigo the Carpathian looking at you.
When I'm walking around my house and I'm by myself or something, or the lights is off, I don't need you looking at me. I know that's why I straight up like to this day I don't have no paintings, no posters. Like, I mean, I might have like comic book stuff, and you know, but I still like those ain't like real people like looking at you, like peering into your soul. You know what I'm saying? Nope, I don't play it.
Oh shit!
But yeah,
I think we found Michael Young's weakness. I think we found your weakness, man.
Yeah, don't be putting no paintings up in my house.
Oh my god. On that note, folks, you can catch me. We have separate shows as well. The Atomic Podcast. I'm on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes. Michael Young, put out your government information. NERDSoul. That's right. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Heavy on YouTube, but you can also check me on iHeartRadio Podcast or on TikTok, Spotify. Peep that music as well. But yeah, besides that, holla at me on Twitter. We can talk movies, we can talk music, or we can just talk about why Vigo still scares me. And then, you know, we'll be back next month, and next month we'll have more news. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of insight. Top Christmas movies. And then we'll talk a lot of more news. Since we didn't get to much news today, since it's October, it's Halloween theme, we'll get to a lot more news in December and a lot of Christmas folly jolly stuff. So for myself and Michael Young, have a good one, folks.
Peace.